It's recording.
All right, guys, guess who's back? Not Paula, it's me.
It's me, I'm right here.
No, I'm back. Remember, I told you I'd be back. All right, when I started that first vlog, right, it's been about 13, 14 weeks since my shoulder injury, right, and I'm officially back. I'd say like 95% back, slowly getting to that 100, and if not, even better, all right? So I just finished a great chest and back workout, which you'll be able to see on my IG later on in the week, okay? But as I was working out, I really wanna emphasize on the big six, right, the 6 key lifts that I posted previously on my YouTube channel, right? I'll pop it up here, right? But I wanna emphasize on the errors, the mistakes when performing these 6 key lifts, right? So that's what we're gonna do today in this video, okay? And we're gonna start off with the vertical push, all right? So vertical push meaning anything going overhead vertically, which is your strict press, okay? So first error that I typically see is pushing the barbell away from you, okay? So it'll look like this. When you're under the bar, you start to push the bar away from you and not overhead, okay? So when you're doing that, you start to put a lot of pressure on the front of your shoulder, okay? So you wanna tuck in your chin, make the barbell nice and straight, and come right back, right? You wanna make the bar path as straight as possible. So one more time so you can check out the side view, okay? Elbows are pointed downward. They're not in a front rack, so elbows downward. That way I tuck my chin in, push straight up, nice straight line, come right back down, tuck my chin in again so I don't hit my head, and good, right? So that's the first one. Second one, right? Rib cage, okay? We start to push with our rib cage, all right? And typically it's either a sign of fatigue towards the end or the weight's just too heavy and we might just wanna lower it down, all right? So this is what it'll look like when you start popping out your rib cage. So notice when I do that, what happens? You see this, you see my rib cage, and then you see my butt. And when you see my butt, it's because I'm arching my back, and that's not what I want, right? I don't want to put any pressure on my low back. So how do I fix that? I tuck in my belly button, squeeze my core, straighten myself out, and now I'm straight. So last one, straight, okay, as straight as possible, straight bar path, tight core. One more, and back down. Okay, so that's how you fix that. If you start to do that, just kind of give yourself that little cue. Touch your belly button, tuck it in, tuck in your butt, squeeze your butt, right? It's a strict press, not a push press, so we're keeping our lower body nice and locked. All right, so that's your vertical push. Now our vertical pull. It's the first time I'm gonna do a pull-up ever since my injury. It's not that I can't do one, but I've been doing a lot of lat pull downs, which are progressions for the pull-up, single arm pull downs. I've been doing a lot of back work. I just haven't done a pull-up because that wasn't there when I first got hurt. So you're about to see it live and I'm gonna see it live myself. It's more of a mental thing, so here we go. I'm gonna show you a chin up, okay? So one of the biggest mistakes I see is doing that half pull-up, okay? And I have clients myself that they say, hey, gee, I did 10, I did 12, I did 15 pull-ups. I said, really, let me see. So we do these pull-ups right here, where we go from chin, 90 degree, chin, 90 degree. So what do I mean by that? These pull-ups, okay? Now there's nothing wrong with that, right? If anything, that emphasizes more on the bicep, right? If you really wanna just target the bicep. But are you really working the full range of motion? Are you really working that full pull-up? Are you gonna get stronger at the full pull-up? No, you'll get stronger at the top portion, and if you really wanna pump in your bicep. But really, the pull-up is gonna come from your lats, right? Your back muscles pulling from the bottom up, okay? That's why progressions are good, like the lat pull down, working on your back in general, one arm rows, banded pull-ups, so we can work the full range of motion, all right? So if this is you, that you're working on getting those quick 5, 10, stop that and work on full range of motion, even if you get 1, 2, 3 pull-ups. I know we want to say I can do 10 pull-ups, right? But I'd rather you work on getting 5 full ones and focus on going all the way up and going all the way down, getting the full range of motion, and then pulling again and going all the way down. Okay, whether it's a chin up or a regular grip pull-up, okay? So that would be my number one. Again, it's not really an error, but if you really wanna work on full range of motion, start from the bottom up, okay? So let's go on the horizontal, right, push and pull. So your horizontal push would be your bench press, right? And I really wanna emphasize on the wrist, all right? Paul, you may wanna go like right here. So when you're here, okay, you wanna make sure you're like punching straight at the roof, okay? My wrist is nice and straight, not here, all right? So a lot of us would go here and we'll start to push down and up with our wrist, and then later on we complain about why my wrist hurts. Well, it's because you don't have much strength when you're here and you're putting a lot of pressure on your small wrist muscles, and you don't want that, right? Wrist injuries are not fun, right? That's why you can wear wrist wraps. I usually wear them mainly for sweat, so the sweat doesn't come down in my hands, but also for wrist protection in general, okay? So that's number one. Number two is when you start to see people arch, that's okay. It's not a bad thing. You squeeze your butt, you arch. That's why you see the lifters, right? They use that for a bigger push, but mainly, right, for their back muscles, so their scaps are nice and engaged, okay? And if they're not engaged, then you're typically doing this, and you're benching here, putting that front shoulder at risk of getting injured. So what you wanna do is open up your chest, that way this is not at risk anymore, and you're really targeting your chest. So it'll look like this. Squeezing my butt, I got this nice arch going, squeeze. Wrists are nice and straight. Engaged, shoulder blades are engaged, popping it up, down and up, down and up. So stay away from that, okay, putting pressure on the shoulder. Bring the shoulder blades back, straight and up. All right, now let's go into that horizontal pull, okay, that bent over row. Let's go over here, let's use this barbell, okay? So this one's gonna be similar to our deadlift, which will be our lower body push and pull, all right? And it's the rounding of the back, all right? I'll see this a lot. Start to put a lot of weight, and you start to pull here. What happens here? I'm rounding my back, and I start to put a lot of pressure on my low back as I'm pulling, right? And if I'm pulling and I'm getting those 10, 12 reps, what happens? It's too light. Let's go a little bit more. Right? So no, what we want to do is make sure that we hinge at the hip, okay? Someone act like someone's really pulling my hips back. I'm shooting my butt back. I'm straight. If you notice, I'm nice and straight. You can put something on my back, and I'd be nice and flat, all right? As I pull towards my chest, back down, pull towards my chest, back down, okay? No rounding. That's a big no-no, okay? Again, we want to stay safe. That wouldn't just start in the middle of our video.
Is that the trash?
Yeah, it's a trash can. I guess my video's trash. It's the trash can. I guess we might be good. All right, so again, bent over row, we want to stay away from that. So not here, okay? No rounding, but straighten out, all right? If you want to work on, maybe not even with the barbell, you can do it on the wall. Let me see if we can pop up on the wall, all right? We're gonna act like this is the wall. You can put your butt on it, put your butt on your wall, right? That way you feel like you have some support, and you can work with dumbbells here. It's still a bent over row. Pull, and back down. That way you can really emphasize on focusing, applying pressure. That way you're not free, because it's a little harder when you're free. Applying pressure towards the wall. Focus on that belly button towards your spine, so your core is nice and tight, and we row, okay? Now we're gonna go to the last two, which is your push and pull for your lower body, okay? So we'll go on to the squats. Now the squats, few things you typically see. Weight on the toes, all right? So you'll go down. Weights on your toes when you wanna have your weight on your heels. All right, a lot of us are a lot flexible than others. All right, so we can typically go down and that knee will pass the toe. There's nothing wrong with that, all right? You'll typically hear people say your knees cannot pass your toes. That's a big no-no. If you watch a lot of Olympic lifters, some of the strongest lifters, their knees will pass their toes. That's just because they have more ankle flexibility, okay? So now if you don't have that ankle flexibility and you're forcing it, typically your toes will tell you. They'll start to they'll start to really drill down and your heels will come off the ground. And that's not what we want, okay? We don't want to apply that pressure with load on our back or in that front rack, okay? So it'll look like this. All right, so as you go down, you start to put your weight on your toes, pressure goes on the knees, and then coming up while you drive up. But you want to stay on your heels, so send those hips back, right? Weight stays on the midline, right? We say heels just so you send your hip back and come up, okay? Send the hips back, right? Keep the toes flared upward, that way we stay away from applying pressure there, and back, okay? And just like the deadlift that I'm about to show you next, and the bent over row, the squatting, we want to stay away from the rounding. So we don't want to round, then it leads to leaning forward, a bottom chest. If it's the barbell's heavy, it could lead to coming forward and maybe you falling forward and having to let go of the barbell in front of you, right? It's a big no-no. It's a scary feeling as well. It left. We're good. All right, so again, we don't want to make sure we're rounding when we're coming down. We want to straighten up the chest. And as I straighten up my chest, my back is nice and flat. That way I'm driving up because we're working our quads as we're coming up, okay? Last one, your deadlift. We'll just use the barbell here, okay? Now when you're doing your deadlift, you want to think that you are spreading the ground apart with your feet. So as you have your feet down, you want to act like you're spreading the ground apart, right? We're not doing a sumo. We're doing a very conventional, your typical deadlift that you would see. And again, as your feet are down, you want to keep it close to the barbell. Spread the floor apart. As you do that, you're going to feel your quads, your glutes are nice and engaged, whether it's a regular grip or a mixed grip. I typically, when I go heavy, I like to go mixed grip. It just feels a lot more comfortable and I feel like I can push a lot more weight. If it's a lot lighter, I'll go regular grip. Go to your preference, whatever you feel like you've been doing or you like more, okay? Here, all right, let me give you a side view. Deadlift is more posterior, hamstring, low back, okay, glutes. So you don't want to be in a squat position where you feel your quads. You want to push them back to where you feel your hamstrings are nice and loaded, your glutes, your low back, your back, all right? So here we're going to engage and we're going to come up and stand up, all right? Biggest thing I see a lot of us do is when we come up, we go forward with the hip, right? We typically see this because we're squeezing our butt, right? So we say squeeze your butt and we do this and we throw the hips forward. You can squeeze your butt just by standing up like this. Boom, and now I'm nice and straight and I'm not leaning forward. So all it is tuck in your pelvis, tuck it in, squeeze, full lockout right here, okay? Down, keep it nice and safe, up, tuck, boom. Not extending at the hip, okay? Again, deadlift, just like the bent over row and the squat. We want to stay away from here, having to pull from the ground with this round position. Eventually, boom. I've seen a lot of injuries. I'm sure you can see them. You can get easily bulges just from really trying to apply a lot of pressure, herniations, all right? And that's why a lot of people are scared of deadlifts when they should not be afraid of. There's a very great exercise, all right? This is a functional exercise when we pick something off the ground, just like your groceries, and you go out for a walk and you go, whatever it is, but you're picking something off the ground. So next time you're gonna go pick up something off the ground, whether it's your keys or your phone, I'm not saying you have to hold up, get in a ready position to pick them up, right? But even myself, when I'm gonna pick something up, I don't just pick it up just like that, right? I'll have my butt, everything's nice and engaged, my hamstrings, right? If I'm gonna squat down to pick something up, right? It's natural. It's like muscle memory because you're working out, but we wanna train the right patterns, okay? So hopefully you enjoyed the video, guys. Now, if you find yourself doing some of these exercises, right? And you find yourself, maybe this is you, right? Maybe if you're a beginner or intermediate or even in advanced, you may still be doing some of these exercises, especially if no coach or anyone has pulled you aside and showed you the right way. If no one shows you the right way and you're just doing it the way that you've seen or you know, you may be doing it wrong. All right, so this is why we make these videos, myself, other coaches, all right, to show you guys the proper form and keeping it safe when you're lifting, okay? Stay away from, I always say lift heavy, but lift heavy to whatever you can handle, to where your form is as strict and as best as possible, okay? We don't wanna, how do I say this? We don't wanna choose heavy lifting over form. All right, we always wanna go form first, the weight, the lifting, the heavy weights will come. All right, guys, so hopefully you've enjoyed the vlogs so far. We've been trying those so far. I've been enjoying them myself. I've heard a lot of great feedback with the vlogs so far. You're gonna be seeing a lot of different vlogs of me traveling. I'm actually gonna do a high rocks competition. Keep it short, it's a fitness competition up in New York, and I'll be vlogging that pretty soon. And then paintball season starts. Unfortunately, I couldn't finish the year off because of my shoulder, but I'm excited for next year, so you guys will be seeing that as I travel and go on the field. All right, it's my hobby on the weekends, and I think you should have one as well. Right, my last vlog was about my active recovery day, going out and doing something fun, and I think that's what it's all about. It's not all about being in the gym 7 days a week, 24/7, 2, 3, 4 hours. No, get in 30, 45 minutes to an hour, have your rest days, have your active rest days when you're going out and doing something you enjoy that doesn't involve being in the gym all day, every day, all right, guys? Love you guys. I told you I'll be back, and I'll be coming back with more videos. So like always, make sure to like, subscribe, tap the bell so you guys get notified when I post. As for now, me and Paula got to get ready for our next video. Love you guys. Make sure to comment any questions or concerns, any specific topics you guys want me to talk about in the future videos, whether it's the vlogs or whether it's these videos. And make sure to follow me on Instagram at GC3Fitness, because I'm coming at you with so much content and workouts you guys have no idea. Love you guys. Let's go.